Hey guys, this is Jason with Delco Diesels. I have a special video here. This is a 2006 LCF Powerstroke 4.5 liter V6. Engine was manufactured in '05 by International before all that, crazy crap went down. Basically, it is a 6-cylinder V6. It's a 6-cylinder 6-liter basically. So what I mean by that is it's a 6-liter Powerstroke minus 2 cylinders, and the turbo is a little different. Let me show you what I mean. The turbo is actually a twin turbo setup like the 6.4 has. As you can see, here's a little one, and then there's the bigger one, and the tiny one obviously has a slight leaking issue. As you can see, there's oil everywhere. This thing needs to be rebuilt, and I'm just kind of trying to figure stuff out. But I figured I'd show you guys what a 4.5 looks like. And like I said, it's a 6-liter with 2 cylinders cut off. Decent fuel mileage. It runs hard. It's got some power. Definitely the turbos help with that. Any major issues with this thing? Not really. It has 125,000 on it. Heavy miles, a lot of weight put on it. This is a box truck, as you can see. I think it's a 16-foot box. The biggest issue that we've had with this was when it first was purchased. It kept going back to the dealer. You would get shocked when you turned the key off, and before you took it out of the ignition, you would get a shock. And I'm not talking like a light little shock. I'm talking like you would zap you, like someone was rubbing their feet on the carpet and then touched your head. You would get zapped. This is a little stronger than someone rubbing their feet on the carpet and touching your head. It was noticeable. You would feel it. So went back to the dealer a bunch of times because it's still under warranty, and they couldn't figure it out. So I did my research, looked around, and apparently when these motors were sent from International to Ford for Ford to drop in the chassis, Ford would forget to do a couple things. And my buddy at International told me that one of the things was hooking up the ground straps. So first thing I did was went around and I found 2 ground straps undone, hooked them up, no more shock. So that was good. No more getting shocked when you would turn the truck off. It was like, people were scared to shut it off to get that zap touching the key. Then the biggest issue with this was the fuel tank. A couple times it was running on the highway, and then you would lose power and it felt like it was starving for fuel, and basically you would get in limp mode and you couldn't go more than 30 miles an hour. If you hit a hill, you were screwed. You weren't getting up that hill. So what we found was the fuel tank was a major Ford recall, where the inside was, the lamination or whatever the hell they put inside the tanks was coming off, getting sucked into the fuel system and blowing the injectors. This thing went into the dealership and they must have replaced every injector 4 or 5 different times, and it still didn't fix the issue. We replaced the fuel tank and cleaned out the fuel system. Problem solved. After that, there's no major issues with this. I had a coolant leak, but that was just a little hose. Everything works on this fine. I mean, like I said, it's been running hard miles. It has been towing trailers here and there. Main thing is stick with your Ford filters. Any Motorcraft products, stick with them. Don't use the cheap ones because they are built different. I will put a link in the description where you can get the filters pretty damn cheap. There's also I'll see if I can find the link. It shows why not to use the competitor filters, what the difference is in it, and it's crazy. Some of them don't seal right. I did have a 7.3, I think an 01 7.3 come in that was having fuel issues and it was leaking. They couldn't find a leak here. The fuel filter was not sealing properly because of the aftermarket brand. I stuck a Ford factory one in there. Problem solved. No more leak. problem was gone. I think it was getting air introduced into the fuel line. Other than that, this engine, I like it. Like I said, it's a 6 liter minus 2 cylinders. I'd probably put one of these little guys in like a Ford Ranger, do something different with it. I always thought of doing like a diesel car, and if I were, this would be the engine to use because it's tiny, it's not too heavy. It's got, let me see if I can see the sticker through the phone here. I think it's got, I can't really see it, 200 horsepower, 27 RPMs, and 440 foot-pounds of torque. So, I mean, a little motor, but it gets up and moves. The only problem is, it doesn't, since this is stock, not touched, and, really doesn't have too much power. So your get up and go, fully loaded 16-foot box truck isn't that great when you're merging onto a highway. I mean, you got the pedal down, and it's taking a little while to get up there, but, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool that this was, I guess, where they got the design for the 6.4 turbos was when they designed this. This motor was only out from 06 to, I think, 08 possibly. Don't quote me because I don't know if I'm right. I think it was only out a couple years. But you can see this one was manufactured in 05. International changed them to the Max engines, and they put them in their go around town trucks. These would be great for delivery trucks because great fuel mileage and you're not putting a lot of strain on it. Please like and subscribe. I'm gonna have giveaways coming soon. Bunch of products I got coming out, and I want you guys to be the first ones to test them out. But I need more subscribers and whatnot. Follow us on Facebook, and subscribe please, and give us a thumbs up. I think once I get to about 15 subscribers, I'm going to start doing some giveaways, so put the word out. Any questions, comments, let me know. I can put videos on other trucks. We will be doing some gas vehicles here and there. This is a whole project I picked up and working on now. Had to replace fenders and whatnot, but that's got a gas engine in it. We'll talk about that another time. But alright guys, so this was the LCF Powerstroke 4.5 V6. International motor, and this was before International Ford had their falling out with the 6.4s. Alright guys, just let me know. There you go guys, it's the engine running. Jump up in here for a second. Gauge cluster, basic. Look, I got the water and fuel light on, so we gotta correct that. That's it. The only thing I don't like is you only have the water temperature. I would have liked to see a trans temp gauge in here, or a trans temp turbo gauge. Something different. But it's a basic truck. It's just for supposedly just driving around in town and not like that. But this is used for a lot of heavy crap goes in here. Maxes you out at 75, it cuts you off. It's got a limiter on it. As you know, you can fix that with tuners. It's OBD2, but it has the large truck. I think it's a 16-pin plug to pull codes, so you will need that if you want to pull codes on one of these guys, or you find one, pick one up for cheap. That's about it. It's automatic.